We would like to welcome Jon Rahm to the Media Center here at the WM Phoenix Open. Jon, welcome back. I know this place you're very comfortable, being Scottsdale resident and Arizona State alum. Your family's been out here on the West Coast. What is it like to be back here, a place that's familiar?
It's always good. It's always good to stay at home for a tournament, even though it's a little different to the dynamics we usually have, right? Being in a hotel or not being in a hotel. Besides that, the best part is just being comfortable, right? It's not like I'm overly having to try to learn a golf course or get familiar with the area. You know, it's a lot easier, a lot less stress to deal with it. So very comfortable, very happy. Looking forward to continuing the good play and hopefully showing up Sunday with a chance.
Going off that, you're looking for a win here, make an 8th start, but have finished T16 or better in all of them. What about this course suits your game?
I think what I just said is more than the golf course, right? Also, being in Arizona State, I'm plenty familiar with desert golf, so it's just a place that I'm comfortable on, right? It's also a course that at first glance it might seem easier than what the scoring usually is. With the scoring conditions getting as hard as they get on the weekend with the firm greens and fast, ball striking obviously is a premium, right? So I think that's always given me a chance to stay up there. Haven't really had a chance to win coming down the stretch. My best showing was when I was an amateur, and even then I had a great back nine to put myself in 5th place. So I'm hoping come the weekend, you know, I've done a good enough job to go to that back nine and knowing that I have a chance to win it.
Perfect. With that, we'll open up to questions with the media. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll get a mic over to you. We're going to start with the mic all the way here in the back. Dan Rappaport.
Jon, it feels like even before this tournament became designated or elevated, with just how unique it is, it's really emerged as one of the premier tournaments on the PGA Tour. I'm wondering, among players, where does this tournament rank among ones that you kind of want to pick off before you're done?
I think this was a designated event before we even knew what they were going to be. No matter what the purse is, this tournament is going to be what it is. Very few sporting events in the world can comfortably be happening the same week as the Super Bowl and still have the impact that they have like this one. With that said, I don't think it's everybody's favorite. Right? I think either you love it or you hate it. You either want to play it or you don't. So there's no in between. In my case, I love it. I want to come every year. It ranks highly in my list, but I know a few people that would put it very far down their list. So I wouldn't know what to say.
Because they just don't want to deal with all the hectic and the craziness?
Whatever it may be, yeah. I mean, since I came first time 8 years ago, can't believe it's been 8 years. It's gotten exponentially louder and louder and louder, right? It's been a significant difference every year. So I get it. I mean, in 16 last year when Justin Thomas chipped in, I didn't want to see the Dasani water bottle coming straight from my head from the third story, but I did see it. So those are the things that hopefully they can rein back a little bit on and keep it strictly about the game. But again, those are also the things that maybe people don't want to deal with on a regular basis. Again, it's 1 week a year, so I think a lot of us welcome it for 1 week.
And then we'll keep Mike in the back. We'll go here, Ben Everill.
Hey, mate, you just talked about how, you know, it's a Super Bowl week. Everything's usually happening here. This is also a betting state. The fans can legally bet here. Do you think that the on-site activations both here and what they're building across the road, et cetera, give another level for fans to sort of get excited about?
I'm not going to lie. I know very little about gambling. I don't like gambling in that sense. On the golf course with friends, maybe, because I have some control over it. But I don't do the sports book or DraftKings and things like that. So I don't know what's going on. So I really don't think, I mean, I'm pretty sure that was going on before it was legal. So I don't think that's going to change much.
And over here, MK with CBS.
Hey, Jon. You had mentioned this being a home tournament, and I'm curious if you have any normal live specific day-to-day routine that you're excited you get to enjoy this week while teeing it up.
Sleeping in my own bed, big plus. it's just waking up at home, right? And knowing that you're home is, I don't know, something relaxing about it. Morning and nighttime routine with the kids. In hotels, sometimes you're not always in the same room, or it can be a little bit more hectic. They're comfortable with it. It's very easy in that sense. So there's little things. Knowing that there's certain restaurants that I can go to and know I'm gonna be taken care of. Being a Silverleaf ambassador and living at Silverleaf, knowing that I can go to the club and again have a relaxed afternoon if I need to. I feel like I have a few more outlets to kind of R&R if I need to throughout the week, more than a regular tour event where I don't know the city well.
We're turning to the back here with Kyle Porter.
Yeah, John, when you think back to the end of last year, as players started talking about what the designated events would look like, have the details of that played out the way that you envisioned personally?
I think we were all aware of what the general plan was going to be. Yeah, for the most part, right? I mean, I kind of equate these to the designated events to when they started the Rolex Series events, right? It's almost like, okay, you have this highlights in the calendar. In my case, made it a lot easier to clearly come up with a schedule quickly, because, I mean, you have to play certain events if you want to access that PIP money, so kind of made it easier to, in my case at least, it was a lot less stressful to decide. And then, like I said, I think the idea was pretty clear from the start of what the events were going to be. The only question mark was going to be how many of them were going to be required to play, and that was it. I think for the most part, it's happened the way I envisioned it was going to happen.
We have here NBC affiliate here, then Tatum Shupak.
Yes, Jon Rahm, you obviously are no stranger to the Valley. You know this course very well. What do you think is your favorite part about this tournament for you personally?
Hard to say. Hard to say which one exactly. I think what makes it so unique and what makes it so special is the fans. So that's what I'm gonna have to say, right? I like the golf course as well. Obviously, there's some highlights on the golf course, but the last 3-4 holes wouldn't be the same without the atmosphere you get out here. So I think that's obviously the work that Thunderbirds have done to create this is pretty special. So I would say the fans, when physical harm is not in danger.
John, you love playing here, but has it frustrated you that you haven't been able to get in the mix really since that first time?
It's not like it's easy.
Seems to be for you.
No, it's not easy. Frustrating? No, but it is something that I want. Obviously, I would never call it frustrating in a sport where you lose more than you win, even at your best capacity, right? So it hasn't been frustrating. I just obviously really want to be a part of it because I live here and I would love to win this tournament, right? It's something special. I was able to do it in Spain and I haven't been able to do it here, so I want to show up for myself and for the people that are here supporting me. But I wouldn't say it's frustrating. It's not easy, right? This course gets difficult when it gets firm and fast. I know people still post scores, but you have to play really good golf.
And you said that this tournament doesn't need to really be a designated event. Do you think it should be, given that it already sort of, like you said, is?
Oh, that is not for me to decide. Like I said, this would be one of the few events that, if it weren't designated, will still rival designated events. Right now, with that said, we have the strongest field we've ever had here because it's a designated event. So I wouldn't know exactly what to tell you. That's a question for the sponsors. You can make arguments both ways on why this should be or why this could still stand without having to be a designated event. So I can't really. I don't know. It's up to the people in charge of the ship.
They're still kind of figuring out next year. Do you think the current number is the right number of designated events?
With all the possible changes next year, I have no idea. I don't know. That's all I can tell you. Do you mean like the number of tournaments we have to play, or I just don't know all the options yet, right? I think a lot of us want to have more time off in the fall, so as long as we get that, I think people would play more or less what needs to be done to be able to have that time off. So again, I wouldn't know what to tell you. What I do hope is that some other tournaments that want to put up the resources to become elevated against events might get the chance, right? That would be epic. I would love to see this rotating, not always being the same once every year. That's my personal opinion.
We're going to go over here to the right, then we'll come back to the front with Gary.
Hi, John. Brad Sussmat, Sports 360 AZ. Good to see you back here. I'm curious, do you get a chance to follow Arizona State sports, Arizona State golf, things around ASU football, whatever it is? You follow them
Yeah.
closely, or
Define closely.
do you pay attention like how the golf program's doing?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
of
new
course.
football coach or things like? Do you
Yeah,
find
I
yourself
pay
plugged
attention.
in?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You're plugged in with them.
Yeah, obviously I pay attention. Yeah, it's a little hard in the fall, especially this past fall, because we traveled quite a bit. So I actually didn't get a chance to go to any games this year, because my family wasn't traveling with me, so I didn't want to take away time from them when I was home. And I haven't been able to go watch the golf team play, but I do follow it closely. And luckily, we get a summary from Coach Thurmond every once in a while, so I get to see what's going on.
Thank you.
And front here with Gary.
John, do you have any kind of a souvenir other than a tournament trophy of the first time you made it to #1 in the world rankings? Did you keep anything? And in general, how nice is it to have that on your resume? I mean, like, even if it's a printout, you know what I mean.
No, I do. His name is Kepa. He's almost 2 years old. Sorry, Kelly, but yeah. She can tell you the story more than me, but we suspect that it was that night. Sorry.
And we'll go here back left.
Hi, John. I know you've been on pretty good form. You've won 2 of your last 3 tournaments, and you mentioned it's nice being home. How do you kind of capitalize on those aspects looking in on the tournament coming up?
I mean, I've been playing pretty good golf, right? So just the fact that I'm familiar with the week, it's a little bit less stress. I wouldn't know what to tell you to capitalize on anything, because golf is very difficult, and even though it's the same course, it doesn't always play the same, and you're not always playing the same. So I wouldn't know what to tell you, but knowing the golf course is a big part of it, and being able to be at home and have friends support me, it's always a plus. So I wouldn't know what to say how to capitalize, except the fact that there's a little bit less stress around the week.
We're going to bring the microphone back up to the front here, Chris Datras.
Hey, John, a little lighter note. Who's your pick for the Super Bowl?
Are both quarterbacks healthy?
Yes.
We
Somewhat
don't-
healthy.
Exactly. I don't know. It's hard to make a prediction in one game, right? It's just it's like one round of golf, anybody can show up and play good. Obviously, if the Eagles continue the form they've had, they'll be tough to beat, but it's just hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. Really hard to go against him, so I don't know. I'm not confident enough on making a prediction. I've played golf with Patrick and Travis Kelce, so just because I've spent some time with them, I would love to see them win. But I'm not confident enough to make a prediction on that.
And how was the round with JJ?
It was great. Yeah, JJ's become a really good friend of mine. He wanted to prep and see the golf course before he came here tomorrow, and like he likes to say, embarrass himself. And he won't be the worst golfer out here by a long shot. He's the way I like to say it. I mean, he's got way too much power and strength to play golf right now. Right, obviously, for somebody who barely plays, he's really talented. I think he shot 102 his first round here from the tips, and a lot of shots were very easily. I don't know how to say it. Treatable, because the guy doesn't like to warm up at all. He just goes to the first tee. So I told him if he just chipped and putt right before the round, he could have saved at least 5 shots on the entire day just from touch around the greens. So it was fun. I mean, it was a really fun day to come out and get to play with 2 of the greatest athletes of all time, and then Tom Kim and myself, not nearly in the same category. But yeah, it was a really fun day. They're all really great guys.
Let's make these final few, NBC 12, MK, then we'll get Mike in the back.
John, we know your focus obviously is on the tournament starting Thursday, but how special is it for you to take part in events such as the Dream Day Clinic like you did earlier today, to just get more involved with the community and spread the message of positivity and getting involved in the game of golf and stuff like that?
I'm ashamed to say that I didn't know that that clinic was happening. It's been happening for 20 years, to be honest. I wish I would have known earlier, because doing clinics in tournaments is something I've mentioned to the PGA Tour that I would do more often, because I think it's really fun for me, and it's great to engage with a younger audience very often. And I hope, I'll say it right here, I hope if we keep having these designated events, or as in much capacity as possible, I think there should be one every single week, and have one of us big players do it. It was 1 hour of my time in the morning where I just, made the day of 200 kids by being there, not only myself, but in a week like this. We had Larry Fitzgerald in the picture for the Diamondbacks over there as well. So, you have 3 athletes from the Valley that they get to show. Obviously, they're not in their element, but they're still there. So I wish this is something we did more often, right? I would love to see it next week in LA. You could do something. Doesn't always have to be on site, but in big tournaments like this, I think you could do it more often, because I would love to do it. It's something I have no problem doing. Clinics are a lot of fun.
Go MK.
Hey, John, in San Diego, you had mentioned that with the quick turnaround, you couldn't really celebrate what you were able to accomplish back to back. Were you able to at the off week?
No. No. Both kids were sick. I got a little sick last week as well, so it wasn't in the time to be celebrating at all. We will at some point eventually. And in this line of work, you can't really go day by day. We'll just take it whenever we have free time and enjoy it.
And final question will be right in the back.
John, this being one of the first of the super events of the year, does that alter your preparation, and how? Or how do you feel about that?
Nothing changes. I want to perform well in every single tournament I go to, no matter what it is. So I will not be doing anything special this week or any other tournament for that matter. So nothing really changes. Now, I do have a question for the media here.
Please. John, mic is yours.
I'm asking everybody that I know, if LeBron gets 36 points tonight, who's calling him the GOAT? Who's not calling him the GOAT? Because I'm loving this debate with everybody at this point. It's just funny. I'm not going to say my stance, but I love talking to people because everybody gets very intense about it. So, media experts. Yeah, Dan, don't laugh like that. Yeah, well, all right. Media. I don't know, just saying. Oh, see, there you go. There you go, see? No, you got.
Jack's got the majors, MJ's got the more titles.
Guys playing different positions, so how do you compare a center with a forward?
I'll answer that.
I'm just saying. It's
Kyle, go ahead.
Subjective.
Yeah, it's like Tiger against Jack. Jack has more major wins, but
So
Tiger,
who's greatest?
But Tiger was better.
Okay, so who's the greatest?
How do you want to define it by wins or better golf?
I'm asking you. Who's the greatest?
I define it by better golf. So I think LeBron's better than Jordan.
So LeBron's better. A lot of OBJ fans. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Not for me to decide, that's for sure.
And final few questions in Spanish.
Yeah, what I'll do in Spanish, y'all can think a little bit
No,
more.
no, yeah. Maybe they can think in Spanish.
What if he gets his high skyhook to, beat the record?
Bueno, Jon, empezamos la temporada.
Sí.
Vaya comienzo de temporada, ¿no? Espectacular. Y cuéntame un poco las sensaciones de esos torneos, cómo ha sido en el campo, y si te planteas el resto de la temporada de otra manera, después de empezar así, ¿no?
Hombre, es un peso quitado encima, ¿no? Ganar tan pronto encima 2. Yo creo que dije en una entrevista que el objetivo de este año era ganar más de una vez y ya están, llevan 2, ¿no? Eso te quita un peso de encima. Y bueno, digamos, la sensación en el campo no cambia, ¿no? Al final, la victoria en Maui fue muy diferente a lo que fue en Palm Springs, ¿no? En una iba líder todo el torneo, básicamente, o cerca de, y en la otra ni cerca y acabé ganando, ¿no? O sea, estas son cosas que es difícil de explicar, pero obviamente jugando muy bien y muy cómodo con el swing, con ganas de seguir jugando bien, ¿no? A ver si puedo seguir diciendo que una semana mala es quedar séptimo. Así de simple.
Este torneo, por un lado, por la parte del golf, tiene mucha importancia para ti. Es donde has jugado muchas veces, empezaste como amateur. Entonces, el planteamiento para esta semana desde el punto de vista del golf, ¿no?
Hombre, no cambia mucho, ¿no? Al final, obviamente, el desierto, el golf en el desierto es algo con lo que estoy cómodo, aunque este campo sea un poco diferente a lo que juego durante el año, ¿no? No todos son iguales. Este es un poco más preparado para el PGA Tour, un poco más estrecho, que aún así hay que hacer pocas, ¿no? Eso siempre pasa aquí. Es un campo en el que si pones la bola en calle se puede, y aquí es accesible entre comillas, ¿no? Así que hay que jugar bien y con ganas de ganar, porque claro, es como segundo torneo en casa, ¿no? Lo gané de amateur, pues no he conseguido de ganar de profesional, algo que sí he hecho en España, ¿no? Así que a ver si este es el año.
Y la otra parte de este torneo es, tienes a tu familia aquí, tus suegros, tus hijos, están aquí tus padres, tu amachu también está aquí esta semana, igual puede ser su último viaje a Estados Unidos.
Bueno, eso dice ella, eso me lo lleva diciendo 4 años. Pero sí, esto, a ver, es una semana especial, ¿no? Que poder tener a mi familia aquí, mis padres y a mamá y los padres de Kelly, obviamente, que viven aquí, con los críos, pues está muy bien, ¿no? Que estén todos juntos y puedan divertirse un poco de ello y que a la vez, ojalá, yo juegue bien.
Bueno, y volviendo a algo que mencionabas en inglés, que es tener hijos te está sentando muy bien, está claro. En el golf y en todo, ¿no?
Sí.
Y yo creo que, lo hemos hablado alguna vez, te da una tranquilidad, ¿no? Que ayuda para tu juego.
Ayuda una vez terminas el torneo. Igual antes llegaba a casa y aún así seguía pensando en una mala vuelta o lo que sea. Ahora cuando llego, no termino de jugar, les veo, como dice a mamá, los niños quitan penas. No, o sea, una vez les veo y me sonríen o me llaman y me piden algo, se va todo, vamos, todo fuera de la ventana. Ya no, solo tiro lo que es el malestar, se va y soy su padre, que es lo único que quieren, ¿no? Es algo que te asienta muy bien, te pone los pies en el suelo y te da una humildad única, ¿no? De lo que de verdad importa. Que obviamente mientras estoy jugando esto importa, pero mientras estoy en casa da igual. Y ayuda a separar un poco esos dos sentidos.
Bueno, y esto no sé si lo quieres contar o no, pero ¿le vas a contar a Kepa que es el fruto del número 1 del mundo?
No, bueno, algún día igual sí, no sé, es una broma. Es una broma que lo hacemos Kelly y yo, pero bueno, no sé si estará muy contenta de que lo haya dicho, pero bueno, ella se ríe también porque es la verdad.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it as always.
Thank you.